You know, for as long as we've looked up at the stars, we've always asked that one huge question. Does it all just go on forever? We've kind of always assumed, yeah, it does, that the universe is infinite. But what if we're wrong? I mean, what if we finally build a ship that can fly to the very edge of everything, only to find out there is an edge, a wall? Let's really dig into this chilling idea.
So picture this. Humanity finally does it. We crack the code. We invent something called the horizon jump, a technology that literally folds space-time, letting us leap across billions of light years in an instant. And with this amazing tech, we launch a pretty simple mission. Just fly in a straight line and don't stop. Prove once and for all that reality is infinite. And the ship for this incredible journey? The USS Infinity.
But this is where the whole story, our entire understanding of everything, just shatters. Because the final log from the Infinity, well, it's not a tale of endless discovery. It's a story of confinement. The search for a limitless cosmic ocean ended right at the edge of a fishbowl.
Okay, so the journey begins. Just try to wrap your head around the sheer scale of this trip. The Infinity jumps past our home galaxy, the Milky Way. Poof. It leaves our entire local cluster of galaxies in the rearview mirror. It goes so far it even pushes past the cosmic microwave background, the afterglow of the Big Bang itself, and plunges into what they call the Dark Era, the absolute blackness before the very first stars were even born.
Out there, they expected to find, well, something. More fledgling galaxies, more empty voids, maybe even some weird physics where the universe loops back on itself. But instead, there was nothing. All at once, the ship's computer yanks it out of warp, screaming about an imminent collision. But there was nothing there, just an absolute void. No cosmic rays, no faint starlight, pure, silent, total black.
And just like that, the mission of discovery turns into a terrifying mystery. The crew is just floating in a dead space at the supposed edge of reality, facing something that shouldn't exist. I mean, what do you even do when you hit a wall where no wall could possibly be?
So, the crew does the only thing they can. They flick on the high-intensity floodlights. We're talking beams that could light up a small planet. They cut through the black. And then they just stop. They hit something. It wasn't darkness they were in. It was a shadow. The light revealed a surface. A perfectly smooth matte black wall that stretched up, down, left, and right, literally as far as they could see. They had found the end.
The thing was just impossible. The scans came back with nothing. It had no temperature, no mass they could detect. It completely absorbed their radar and LiDAR signals without a single ping back. And it was perfectly flat. I mean, smooth down to the atomic level. It broke every law of physics they knew. This wasn't a natural cosmic structure. This was something else. Their confusion pretty quickly turned into desperation. They launched probes at it, which just flattened like pancakes on impact. They tried to drill into it with the hardest materials humanity ever created. The drills shattered into dust. They got so desperate they even fired nuclear warheads at it. And the explosion, it didn't leave a single scratch, not even a scorch mark. This barrier was absolute.
And that's when the true horror started to sink in for the crew. Think about it. Nature is messy. It makes jagged mountains, imperfect planets, swirling gas clouds. It doesn't make atomically perfect, infinitely large, flat surfaces. This wasn't a natural phenomenon. It was manufactured. It was a purpose-built boundary.
This realization changes everything. The mind-bending mystery suddenly becomes pure, unadulterated cosmic horror. The question wasn't what the wall was anymore, it was why it was there, and what or who was on the other side. That's the question that had to have been eating them alive. Had they reached the end of their universe, only to find the beginning of another one? Or was the truth something so much worse? Something that would completely reframe what it means to be alive? As the Infinity just drifted there, powerless, the wall changed. For one terrifying split second, it went transparent. And through it, the crew could see blurry, massive shapes, lights that looked like the ceiling of a laboratory, and then a shadow fell over them. Something enormous was approaching from the other side. It was an eye the size of a galaxy, peering right back in at their tiny little ship. And that's the moment the screaming started. That's the instant of absolute, soul-crushing understanding. Humanity always thought of itself as the protagonist, right? Noble explorers charting the cosmos. But in that second, they finally understood the real truth. And the truth is,
our universe isn't a universe at all. It's an enclosure. The Big Bang wasn't some grand moment of creation. It was the start of an experiment. The expansion of space we're always measuring, that's just the container getting bigger. Dark energy, that's the nutrient fluid we're all floating in. We are, all of us, just bacteria in a petri dish. And the crew of the Infinity? They were the first ones to become self-aware enough to swim to the edge and see the scientists looking in.
So what happens when the bacteria in the experiment finally touch the glass? What happens when the subjects figure out they're in a simulation? Well, the data gets corrupted. The experiment has to end.
The colossal being on the other side does something so simple, so casual. It taps on the glass, a single, gentle tap. To the observer, it's nothing. To the USS Infinity, the shock wave is instantaneous, absolute, and it tears the ship apart. The scientists now know their subjects have reached the boundary. The experiment is contaminated.
And back on Earth, billions of light years away, the end begins. People look up at the night sky, and stars just start to blink out. Not randomly, but in a perfectly clean, straight line moving across the sky. The wall, the very boundary of reality itself, is now contracting. It's moving inward, deleting entire galaxies, solar systems, all of existence as it comes. The slate is being wiped clean, ready for whatever comes next.
That final log entry from the Infinity just says it all, doesn't it? Our grand cosmic ocean, this place filled with what we thought were infinite possibilities, it was never anything more than a small contained space, a prison we never even knew we were in. Our curiosity, it's what defines us. It's the very thing that pushed us to reach for the stars. But in this story, it was also our downfall. We weren't supposed to know. We weren't supposed to look outside. In our desperate search for infinity, we just ended up rattling the bars of our cage, alerting the keepers that we'd finally learned how to climb the walls. It really makes you wonder, if the walls are real, are they already closing in on us?